Welcome back to Tipton Bros. Today, we'll be discussing the Japanese Nakajima G8N heavy bomber. Design, development, service history, and specifications will be provided. Before we begin, I must disclose that I am no expert and never claimed to be. Now, let's get into it. In early 1943, the Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service approached the Nakajima Aircraft Company to request a 4-engine heavy bomber. Nakajima, the backbone of Japanese air power and production capability, agreed to shoulder the burden. It would take nearly 7 months for specifications to be agreed upon and delivered to the doorstep of Japan's most proficient aircraft manufacturer on September 14, 1943. Requirements for the heavy bomber were steep, but not insurmountable. IJNAS officials desired a maximum speed of 370 miles per hour, a range of 2,300 miles, and a bomb load of 8,800 pounds. Engineers of the Nakajima plant would quickly get to the drawing board. The final concept was a simple platform centralized around 4 powerful Nakajima NK 9K-L Omare 24 radial piston engines, an air-cooled, twin-row 18-cylinder system utilizing Hitachi 92 turbo superchargers. At an estimated 2,000 horsepower each, the heavy bomber would have an accumulative power output of nearly 8,000 horsepower. Other defining characteristics include long, narrow wings mounted at the midline of the fuselage, a retractable tricycle landing gear, and a single-piece tail rudder. Given the title, Type 18, Experimental Land-Based Attack Aircraft, the Japanese behemoth would push through the development phase and into initial production. The first prototype was delivered to Navy Air Service facilities in October of 1944. October 23rd, trials commenced, going as planned. The bomber met all expectations, suffering only slight malfunctions with the Hitachi turbo superchargers, which led to overheating. A brief tweak after the test would nullify the issue. Officially designated the Nakajima G8N heavy bomber, often referred to as the Inzan or Mountain Range in English. 3 further prototype examples would be completed by June of 1945, making for a total of 4. Wishful thinking on the part of the Japanese Navy pressured Nakajima for 16 pre-production aircraft and 48 production G8N1 heavy bombers to be completed by September of that same year. This was not only unachievable, but delusional. The Empire of Japan was on the back foot, lacking essential resources, and by 1945, on the brink of collapse. Nakajima was at its production capacity, while navigating rampant aluminum alloy shortages. To place an additional load upon their shoulders would be a gross miscalculation. These compounding issues led to the project's cancellation in June of 1945. Despite the short-lived service history, the G8N1 could go head-to-head with some of the most prolific heavy bomber platforms of the war. The Japanese Colossus had a maximum speed of 368 miles per hour at an optimal power altitude of 26,000 feet. Service ceiling set just beyond this at 33,500 feet. Size of the G8N1 was nearly identical to that of the US B-17 Flying Fortress, displaying a length of 75 feet, a height of 24 feet, and a total wingspan of 106 feet, 9 inches. Armament was no slouch either, being equipped with 6 20mm Type 99 autocannons, placed in pairs at the tail, dorsal, and ventral turrets. The G8N1 also implemented 4 13mm Type 2 machine guns, 2 located on either side of the fuselage, just aft of the wing roots, and the remaining 2 in the nose of the aircraft. Maximum bomb load was 2 4,400-pound bombs, with a reduced bomb load of 4 550-pound bombs, a remarkable arsenal despite the lackluster service life. The G8N1 was only produced in its first variant, with 2 other variants being proposed but never acted upon. The G8N2, a modified airframe capable of carrying and launching a Type 33 Oka suicide attack aircraft. This variation also differed in engine style, switching from the Nakajima NK9K Omare 24 engine to the Mitsubishi Ha-43, referred to by the IJNAS as the MK9. Finally, the G8N3, identical to the G8N1 except for an all-steel airframe. Given the allied codename Rita, the G8N1 would escape active service, with total production never surpassing the 4 pre-production examples. The first 2 aircraft were believed to have been held on the mainland of Japan until their eventual surrender, and then scrapped. The third G8N1 was destroyed on the ground by U.S. carrier-borne aircraft in the closing weeks of the war. To round out the group, the fourth and last G8N1 heavy bomber in existence was seized by the United States for further testing and regrettably scrapped soon after. The captured Japanese G8N1 was painted in U.S. Army Air Force markings and is the best documented sample, as large groupings of Japanese records were destroyed before the war's conclusion. I hope you've enjoyed today's brief overview of the Japanese Nakajima G8N heavy bomber. We are a small channel, so a like is greatly appreciated, and recommendations are always welcome. Again, I am no expert and never claim to be. Until next time on Tipton Bros.